Hey there, Taurus. This is Joy with Joy the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy to the World, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. And to those of you who've given donations into the Joy of the World channel, my heart is so warm, ooey gooey, and happy as could be. Thank you so much. Now, Taurus, interesting spread you have coming out here, like under the rainbow, right? So it started out with the Four of Wands, and I was like, how nice. Isn't that right up your alley? Exactly what you were looking for. You are like the captain of the spread, the queen, the king, the lord of the lair, that type of a thing. But then we have these two like stereo cards going on beside it. Can you see that? So we have the Five of Wands and we have the Five of Cups. And your power is in conflict with your sensitivity, which is why you're kind of stuck in this gray area, is what you're telling me. And there hasn't been the forward moving progress into all that you hope and dream and actually possess the potential for. And not potential like some, like the back of this card, like some wispy, vague, airy type energy out on the fringe, but literally possess inside your being. But the potential means it has to have a conversion point. So since this card is teasing its way out, well, actually, let's jump right above it first and then we'll come back down. Seeds of tomorrow, here today. I go through and I freshen my decks in between on previous spreads to get them ready for whichever one wants to speak for the next coming up read. And I was just freshening these and this shot out. And it's like, I'm ready to talk to Taurus. And these can come out in any direction, but this came out straight up. So it's a bit of, I'm seeing, like Dorothy and Oz. Going on this, we can say imaginary, but don't think I'm like putting you down. Imaginary, like moving through your imagination, through the possibilities, creating those conversion points, right? To see things with a different lens, with a different eye, so that when you come back home, you see it for more, you see it for what it is, for more than what you've dictated it to be through your perspective of the current hour, okay, of this moment. So they want you to be illumined and to begin to imagine and to let that magic of Oz cut on, to take that journey and to begin to head back home, okay? So we're going to wait on that. That is going to lead you to 4, happy family. So any of you who've been having family issues, relational issues, communication issues, connection issues, that type of thing, to me that's more of what the Four of Wands is, because it's often like a chuppah.
Had to.
Hey,
hello! What's up, guys?
We got a cameo. This is my son, Gray. I don't mean anytime he comes in, when you work from home, to just pop on in and say a big hello.
Hey,
so glad to have him back, glad to have him here.
Awesomest mom in the world.
And perfect time. It was on the Happy Family card about reconnecting. Oh, look, and there's the rainbow. How funny. Y'all, this one was face down, if you remember. I didn't ever look at it. They said, put that one in the middle. It'll be revealed. But now you're showing me very much it is the pearl of the whole spread. And those of you that don't even have this yet, these people are still like in spirit form. They haven't come here. It's like your hopes and dreams. It's possible. It's able to come on in. There's something to do with communication here, though. And going out to the edge of the water to take a risk. Okay. That's for those of you that this is still like in that bit of the imagination, dreaming the people in. Okay, y'all. This is getting to be a bit much because I see a rainbow here. Okay, it's starting to light up. It's really wild and quite a trip how this can happen, how y'all carry me through this. But anyways, all that's to say is, to me, the Four of Wands is usually very structured, very stable, and it has to do with connection and connectivity. The home, the heart, the hearth, those things that really bring in good measure is what you're telling me. Okay, so let's dance on over here with this rainbow that I see. 34, door to personal healing and happiness. Look, eye on the prize, window of the rainbow. And the song, when it was trying to start out as Somewhere Over the Rainbow, you're like, under the rainbow. I'm ready to come on back. I'm on the return journey. Bring it home. Slide it into home plate, Joy. We're ready to score. We're ready to win. We're ready to cash in, to bring in this gold, this delight, this thing that I've been holding out for, waiting for, working for, like trudging along. But the difficulty was not getting past the 5. Staying here, but 5s to me aren't problems. They're where we manifest. They are the fullness of something done in and of ourself. That then there seems to be either a shift point or a conjunction where someone else comes along, an opportunity comes along, a shift point comes along, that type of a thing. So here it's an open door, it's an open window, but I see it more like an invitation to come out and luxuriate. It's almost like you've been locked in your idea of home. And home, as they've been talking about lately, has been about ourself, our home. And you've been locked in this idea of who you are and how it's going to come about and what it should look like and how it should be in order to make you happy. But this is talking about healing and happiness, and the word that's actually, y'all, it's jumping off the page is health. What you truly desire is for it to be healthy, for things to be balanced like that, thus the 4 and the 4 coming straight up in the center. More than being stuck at the 5, you're looking for that foundational balance. Yeah, but some of you, it's still gripping in your heart. It makes you kind of sick. What you've seen, what you've been through, or the longing and the waiting. For those of you, there are 2 different channels of people here right now. The seeking, the searching, you're saying the soughting, SOUGHTING, the having sought, which lets me know you were kind of giving up and you want me to help bring you back in, bring you back home to yourself, to your gold, to your point of origin. So anyways, we are going to begin this rainbow journey. And above number 34, that creative ability to establish your foundation comes in the wreath, sorrow over loss. Well, that makes perfect sense, because this is like I got punched in my third eye and the sickness ran down between the crevices of my chest. It's like it filled in the gaps between my ribs, and it almost became oozy, like it was hard to breathe, like it was sticky and tacky, and it was painful with every breath that you would take, and that your heart was empty, even though you were holding out hope for it to be filled. And you're showing me you were doing all the right things. I have to speak it the way you speak it, okay? You were doing all the right things. Why didn't it work out? Well, they've been teaching me as of late with you guys that right isn't about right or wrong, good or bad, dark or light, cut and dried, that type of thing. It's not. Right has to do with being true to yourself, being true to who you are. The unveiling, the uplifting, the original is what you're talking about. So let's see where we go from there into March. These are like lily of the valley and dewdrops. It's even... March is something that's stuck in the middle. It's like when the warmth starts to come, and spring is kind of putting its fingers out, its little roots, its feelers out into our life, but then there's still that cold blast that comes through, but then there's often that shift point of heavy downpour rains that's soggy and sodden the ground. And so you're telling me the back and forth is what really you've been over about, and that has a lot to do with the indecision point on this wreath of, do I let go or do I hold on? Do I let go or do I hold on? Well, what you're asking me to do is to say back away. Back away, like a painter when they're painting a canvas, they get close and they work, but then they back away to take a better look and to open their scope of vision, to see more of the page and to see more of the negative space of what's going on around the image, and to begin to work on harmonizing and balancing it. So that's what you're talking about, back away. That March, it's like you're planted there. You're stuck in that congestive energy that is like cavorting about. It's like tossing you around, and it's storm tossed. The sickening in the chest is you're getting evidence on both sides. It's like your reticular activating system doesn't know what you're loyal to, what you really want, because it knows what you want, but it also knows what you think about all the time. And that's not what you want. And so it's activated on the both. So you're getting a mixed bag, a mixed signal, inhospitable environment, circumstances, that type of a thing, okay? So Taurus, let's see what's coming in next. Yoke, feeling tied down and frustrated. Well, that would make sense, right? Because that's coming in along with this energy. Okay? Feeling stuck between this, about what to do with your power and your sensitivity. It's almost like there are different points on the seesaw, and it fluctuates between this and this, left foot, right hand, left eye, right eye, that type of thing. And but the yoke here is showing two harness points that in order for things to work properly, like if an ox, if a bull, right, is pulling a cart, is they have to know the initiator and anticipate each other's energy and to step forward at the same time and in harmony, in step, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, so that the sway of the yoke doesn't bruise the neck and tear each other up and toss the cart and get you off the path and in ruts and ditches and things like that. It's so much more complicated in its simplicity than it seems. And so that would, because anytime I keep looking at the word tied here is tired. You're tired of that. You're frustrated with that. You're frustrated with not being on the same page, that it is argumentative or it's full of tears. That's it, because like these waves and pulses of just like pensive. It's just so concentrated right here, and you're trying to solve it and crack down on it and fix it. You're fixing them, you're fixing you. You're like, the fingers are like needling, and it's almost like you're knitting your brain, and you're knitting not like human hands. Let me tell you, you're knitting like a knitting machine, like a whole factory. Like I can literally hear it going shh, that fast. No wonder you're exhausted and sickened in your belly, in your gut. But you're trying to hurry it along, trying to rush the process because you don't like it. You want the end result. That's what you're showing me here. But what you're telling me here is that you can have the end result now. They're not saying totally let go. It's not something you're exactly holding on to, being that it's a wreath, you've hung it on your door, you've set your heart on this prize. So they're asking you to just simply take a few steps back and look at it as a composition, not a competition. Okay. And this will go well with you. When you work together and it's not about winning, because you're showing me a three-legged race right now. Like a three-legged race, if you take the word race out of it and you call it three-legged fun, three-legged hilarious, three-legged ridiculous, that type of thing, and you get a whole bunch of people out in the field and you begin to tie them together and you tell them to cross this line and see whoever can get the flag, and we're just going to record times for each person, but there's a prize for each slot. And you watch it and record it, you're going to laugh all the way through. You're going to laugh at yourself, and when all of y'all are having chips and popcorn later and watching it on the big screen, you're all going to laugh at each other and laugh at yourself and laugh at each other and laugh at yourself, and you're going to enjoy the moment, and euphoria will come. That's what you're telling me, Taurus. Euphoria. It's like you kind of forgot that ability in yourself because you're so massive and able and walking in the strength of dominion, that was what you relied heavily on for so long. Powering forward, powering through, that it lost that genuine connection. That, okay, they're singing, you lost that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. Bring back that love and feeling, for it's gone, gone, gone. That's what you're talking about. So if you begin to focus on your heart and the return of that loving feeling, it's going to pull that yoke, that grip, that death grip, that choking off of the situation, okay? And oxygen will begin to return. Sanity will begin to return, because it's not saying insanity, but like when you're oxygen deprived, your brain is in like a full-on panic. It is choking, and it doesn't know what to do. It just hits a response system, okay? And they're trying to tell you to get out of that fight or flight, get out of the nervous system, and get into your choice-based point of leadership, of self, okay? So next to the yoke, we have the well. Family wishes come true, but it's coming in inverted, because you told me just to smear these out and leave them directionally as they come. It's like this. It's still like, it's like rocks falling on your head. Raindrops keep falling on your head. Like, things aren't the way they should be. And that's true. But you know, what I'm getting here is to really view it like a kid. And maybe you are struggling with one of your kids. View it like a kid. Don't always be the preacher and the teacher and the heavy and the dominant, okay? Come in alongside is what I'm showing, and it will begin to work, because, let me show you this way. Can you see? Maybe not. Let's see. There's a little handle, a little crank here, and it begins to turn the crank. And somehow as it begins to turn the crank, instead of just pulling up the bucket this time, it's gonna right the situation. It's gonna restore balance. So whoever you're dealing with, this has to do with a respect issue. That's why they're talking about the kid and the parent, because it could be a child, it could be a parent. But it's a power differential going on here, as opposed to inequality. And now we know if it is a parent and a child, there is that bit of leadership that has to come along. But there also has to be room for contribution. That's where our value and our worth are cultivated, and where they come from. Having purpose, but also meaning. Restoring that fun, you know. Because there also was a movie that came out called Under the Rainbow. It was quite funny, by the way, and I watched it because I wanted to see the different perspective, the different take on it. Just like The Wiz as well. It's a different version of The Wizard of Oz, and it was lively and fantastic, and the music in it was stellar. Absolutely love it. So you're telling me, as you begin to do that, it's going to turn that crank and make things come up right. And no more raindrops keep falling on your head. No more rocks falling on your head. No more beating your head against a wall, that type of a thing. And you're wanting to take it down here, and we're going to come into the gold. Well, that begins to like spark your stardust and begin to really catch a fire is kind of what you're saying, y'all. You're like, that's interesting. Okay, you with Taurus placements, there's some fire in your chart too. Now, just so you know, we don't all have all four elements. Like, I have 0 degrees of water. Now, I do have a water sign, but it's at 0.27 degrees, okay? So I have almost no water, but I have plenty of plasma, y'all. All of this energy that I go fishing through when we're talking. But I do have lots of fire, and I'm picking up that you do too, for you to go. When that's not falling on your head anymore, you like turn into this rock star. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. You turn into this rock star. It's like you forgot how to be young, how to have fun, how to cut loose. And I'm hearing it by cut foot loose. Down. You know, how to celebrate and enjoy the moment, how to crown life with meaning and be on that absolute fun. But look at this card. It's so radiant, and I see it in motion. It's glimmering, it's shimmering, it's oozing, it's golden deliciousness. So yeah, baby, you got the golden ticket, right? Play. Connect. Thank you, Taurus. So under that, 21, attract abundance, is 12, the temple path. You're going to turn it around. Coming through that, seeing it in a different perspective, turns it all around. Not just turns things right side up again, but totally turns that ship around and gets it going in the right direction, gets you right back on the path of where you should be all along, seeing things in the light and the perspective of how they really are, like you were talking about here with happy family and the health, right? Because after the struggle, you realize what you were deeming happiness didn't make everybody happy. You want everybody to be healthy. And that's what you decided over here when you led us on this first half of the arc, okay? It's a path that's been there a long time. It's true to who you are. There's help along this way. Like there are orbs of mystery is what you're talking about in here. So it's almost like, maybe at the fair, you know how they'll have balloons attached and you throw a dart at it and inside's a little piece of paper folded up with the words of a prize on it that you get. That's what you're aiming for. So where these are orbs of mystery like that, they want you to pop it. Pop it. Pop the orb, pop the mystery, open it up, begin to see what's inside. Because again, this is more that reiteration of the gold. Can you see it? And that's going to illumine your path. It's like the joy that leads you along the way. It's incentive, it's motivation. And you know, sometimes there's this undercurrent of unspokenness that says doing things for a reward is wrong. Needing that reward is wrong, and it's not. We are all different. We're all crafted differently. And the thing is, you know, honest, I have a hybrid, but my car needs gas in order to go. So it's like trying to say, drive your car without the gas. If you're really devoted, if you're really spiritual, if you're really powerful, if you're really full of, you know, creativity and wow, then you can do that. No. This is how it really is. You're a rock star. Sorry, y'all. This hair, let me just bring it on down because it's falling out. I couldn't find anything to put it back with, so I just tied it. But I'm just going to go with the flow like you are. Pop. There we go. And it says, let your hair down, Joy. Well, isn't that funny? That's exactly what they want me to tell you. Taurus, let your hair down. And then I hear, you're just so funny. It's like a rock opera. No more tears. No more tears. That your cup will not be a cup of bitterness, of saltiness, of that medicinal cup. Because when you're healthy, you don't need medicine. Food is your medicine. Laughter is your medicine. Connection is your vibration, your energy. I like that, and I love the number 12. To me, it's about like perfection and union. So let's see how you want to do this. Do you want to come up? Give me just a second, y'all. And let's see. You're saying no. Take it under. Take it under. We're passing through the 4 of Wands, going to the 5 of Wands. So we're moving on up like George and Wheezy. And it's getting your hearts going in the same direction, getting on the same page, unifying, but things that are individual, separate, like your own song, your own music, your own passion, but coordinating it. Rather than cording it, braiding it, binding it, tying it all into one, you're just allowing it to all work and flow together. Being on the same page mentally, like, coordinating, planning, that type of a thing. So plan in some of this fun. Plan it in dates, outings, you know, personal fun, unified fun, familial fun, spontaneous opportunities as well. Leave some room in it is what you're telling me then. So that means don't fill it, don't smash it full. Just create a formula, and leave a little bit of room for some creative expression, okay? Because you'll begin to find you're not the only one who has some ideas, and that's what's going to restore this play, okay? That connection, that playfulness, which is great because that's very much a Gemini energy that you're leading on into. So especially for those of you who are on the cusp. Okay, so up above this we have number 7, and this begins to restore your energy to you. This is the community card. It had to be mended first. Part of you had to be mended. So your extra stellar, beyond the sky part had to be mended. Your soul's been fine, even though it hasn't felt fine. Okay? Even though it has not felt fine. It's like your blood, sweat, and tears. That was what you had issue with. It's like waiting for the return on that. But when we talk about the blood, sweat, and tears, that's red magic. That's the magic of destiny, of fate. And you're like right up on the canvas, right? You're in so close you can't see the big picture. And they're saying it's being mended. It's beginning to flourish. The gardens are ripe and ready. It's all here in its golden deliciousness, in its unctuousness, in its tastiness. But you are so busy preparing. Like, say you're preparing for the party and doing so much hosting or hostessing that you forget to eat the food, to enjoy your own event, your own celebration, to join and come alongside and with the others, to taste and see that it's all good, to slow down and invite yourself in. That's what you're telling me here. And that brings in 24 white, lighten up. And they're saying, they're focusing on the upper part. They're saying, and brighten up. Brighten up your smile. Brighten up they're talking about your shoulders, like open your collarbones, baby. When you're open wide in your collarbones, you're ready to receive this blank slate, this new way, this new day that is full of creativity. Like it's percolating, it's scintillating, it's like sizzling, it's effervescing. It's ready to be alive. So as you move towards this, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Okay. So that's what they want us to do. Okay. Up above that is wind chimes, peace and harmony. It's that effervescing, that energy of the white, the bright, the brilliance, the brightening up. It softens your hardness, like that. I don't know how else to say it. The ooze, it's awful. It was like pussy, oozy, platelet type stuff that was all sticky between your ribs that made it hard to breathe. That we could say anxiety, but it wasn't the rapid rabbit breathing like some people get anxiety. It was more like the artery clogging type, the breath holding type. It made you so stolid and massively dense material that you lost your quality of air. Not just that playfulness, but they're talking about in your mind. Remember, they were talking about imagination and imagine and illumination and that type of thing. Those are all very airy. And that's what this is whispering up into here. Thus the peace and harmony. Because wind chimes, leave it to the wind, and the wind begins to caress and blow them. And we're not picking out a music or words or a tune like you were here, mighty rock star. It's like the DNA of your creativity. It's like a source. It's where it comes from, and it feeds this rock star part of you. It says all is well. It's a source of inspiration. And I can feel the muscles around your back beginning to ungrip and let loose. Especially right above the kidneys. It was almost like you were attached to a stand and you just had to keep standing there. I don't like that. And I don't think you like that either. But it was what you were used to. But you've initiated this. That's the most fantastic part about it, Taurus, is you're bringing in a new perspective to look at this with your soul, with your body, with your mind, with your spirit, with your guides, to see how this filters through and applies to your life, to gain wisdom, to awaken your rock star, to bring in this wealth, you nut. Sorry. These are nuts, like nuts and bolts, right? And I was kidding in one of the videos earlier this week that they had people diminish them and put them down. I said, so when people call you nuts, be like, because each of these, it's not just the wealth of money. It is the wealth and the resource and the access to it all. To it all, because that's the best part about wealth, is never being so weighed down, having plenty. Always meaning that your dreams are within reach and that your imagination, nothing is hampered or hindered by any of it. It's all this organic, like, mixing of energy. It's very alive, very active. I love it. But these are like portals. They're not just your fortune, you're fortunate. They're portals. You have access to yourself, to who you are, because remember, it is in you. It's who you are, Taurus. I love that. So coming in from the wealth, we have the cat, a two-faced friend. So it's coming in upside down. And the cat here in this one is talking about your spirit. It's about getting on the same page with your spirit. Instead of working through your mind, trying to figure out how things are, it's like you undermine and you diminish the clarity and the assistance that you were getting, like it was coming whole. And each time you look and examine, you cross and chop and cross and chop and cross and chop. And before you knew it, you took something that was beautiful, like the lyrics to the song I was listening to. You took something that was perfect and you made it red. Or you cut something that's going to bleed. Are you cutting yourself, Taurus? Are you cutting yourself off? Are you cutting yourself short? Are you cutting others off? Are you cutting them short? That was a little bit of like that, it's like a pinch or a twist. Remember that type of energy that was going on over here. So this is more of your mind. In your mind, okay? So vine, seek out information that will help you. Now we can think, oh, how beautiful vines, but vines choke. Remember we were talking about your air getting stuck and about your lungs being stuck. What if it's been you being wrapped up in this vine that seemed divine, it seemed right, it seemed like the good decision, but you give vines a little time. I mean, you ever plant a gourd, it can grow, I don't know, like 5-6 feet overnight. It's totally wild, very Jack and the Beanstalky type energy. But something that you thought was a good idea quickly took off and became this thing that like bound you. And not in a good way, because coming in up under is number 5, attachment. You're reminiscing over who you were and how you used to look, that pure heart, that pure mind, that you're talking about that lucidity, that ability to flow freely without fear is what you're talking. Okay, so the vine that grips you is fear. Fear, Taurus. I'm just checking which card we're going to talk with. Okay. Tell us about this fear that has gripped Taurus here, because we moved into the divine energy here to unveil what was still wrapped around your mind. I pray you be set free here, Taurus. Okay, that's more than a few. That is a few, actually. That's 3. Remember, let your hair down. Well, first, separation. Submission, shed, discard, retreat, birthright, benefits, inheritance, and property. So remember we were talking about moving on up like George and Wheezy? That thing where your silver connection beyond the sky, when you got separated from your dreams, you lost sight of who you were spiritually. Not just in your soul, but that innocence, okay? Your innocence. And not innocence like childlike innocence necessarily. If you were dealing with a child, your child may have gone through difficult things and you lost that innocence for your child. That watching somebody suffer outside of your own chest is often more gripping and more painful than it is if you were the one going through it. Because if you're going through it, at least there's some pivotal power of decision in it. If a loved one or a friend is going through it, you don't have that and you're like on the sidelines. Oh wow, okay, so it's a reiteration. In this rune deck, these that are smaller like that with the words all over it, are more of the book definition of the runes. And I like to use these instead of my tiles because they don't make as much noise. But then my guides had me make big versions and they said, you write what we tell you, what we're telling you that they are right now. And so that's why you'll see 2 in here, and there is a reiteration. They're wanting to let us know a little bit more about the separation. Skyward, all things return to the sun. All things return to the sun. Remember what they were talking about with this community card with the 7? Is that more time is needed. to begin to experience and enjoy every day. And you're almost like, I can't lighten up. I can't let go of this. And no, you actually can't let go. It has a hold of you. So that's what I feel like they want when they're talking about separation, submission, and shed. They're wanting us to do the work of cutting it, removing it, clearing your fence line. It takes a little bit of work and determination, but the first thing you do is you cut it at ground level, just above the ground actually, so that you'll have a nub and a knob to pull from. And then depending on how you feel about it, you can go ahead and begin cutting the pieces out of the fence, because that's where I see it's like netted and meshed into your home life, into the thing that was meant to keep you safe. That's what fences do. They give you the safety and security of definition of your property. Thus, Four of Wands, you're making perfect sense now, Taurus. But it also tells others, this is our space, stay out. You know, if you want to come in, you need to be invited. You need to come to the door. Come to this door of personal healing and happiness. Come to my face. But so it's grown in there, and it's like a living fence, a living hell is what you're telling me. So first of all, Taurus, thank you for having courage and coming through this. Thank you for still hanging around. And I wish the best for you and your loved ones. Like, that's truly what this channel is about. It's touches my heart, because so many of us suffer and struggle because life is so fractured now. Community has been broken down, like extended families. We're even within the home, there's divorce and separation. There's so much separation going on that we're not getting a full picture of ourselves, and we can often undermine ourselves and expose ourselves to less than savory energies and invite the enemy in a sense. And it comes in looking like a sweet little vine. Oh, I am here to help you. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is nice. Oh, take them to Sunday school, or here's a good job, or here's a car, or that type of thing. And it ended up being poison, defeat, those type of things. So all that's to say is that's why this channel is here. And that's why I see it as road signs and perspective is what I'm offering you, the opportunity for us to sit down, have this conversation. And you're welcome to make it a two-way conversation and enter in your information in the comments of, you know, your heart, whatever it is that you want to share about your story, or yourself. But otherwise, this is our conversation to love and support each other, because together we're better, we're stronger, you know, we're more like that fence, protected, right? So you cut it. You can keep cutting it, snipping it, and pulling it, and pulling it, and pulling it in pieces until you get it all carted and hauled off and out of that chain link fence is what you're showing me. It was blocking your view. And then you have to sometimes push away the bottom of the fence and take a transplanter shovel. They're not very wide, but they're very long. And you get down in there and you begin to work out those roots around the central hub and get that baby out. Get out, get to the heart of the matter and get that sucker out of there. Which just through talking, that's my agreement that it is done energetically, okay? But it's up to you to make that choice, all right, from your side of the fence. So in comes standstill. Feeling powerless, gestation, sacrifice, plans on hold, release, deep renewal, submit. So this is your personal power, your your ability to choose, to decide, to get the help here that's needed or not. Okay? Vines are pervasive and they're rapidly growing. And what they do is they stand upon the beauty of another. They often grow alongside, they're mockers is what I call them. They often grow alongside a tree or something that is more slow growing but is solid and steady. And they'll just run right up it. And they'll say, look at me, look at me, look at my glory, here I am, here I am. And we're often mesmerized by its appearance or its rapid growth that we lose sight of what it overtook. Okay? Well, let's get an outgoing energy for you here. First, actually, I want an Angel Larian. Let's get an angel on this for Taurus. Angel over this energy of clearing that fence line and making home safe again. Home healthy. Healthy, right? Thank you. Bina, left eye, knowledge. So when it's talking about the left eye knowledge, it's knowing how to take action, knowing what to do to take action. And look, there's that pearl. There's that pearl floating, hovering above your hand, asking you to choose it to take hold. Remember the pearl at the back of the card of the happy family, the order? Because the order, this 4, is talking about both sides. You need both sides to be on the same page, to get this 4, this order, this happy home, this establishment, this balance that stays, that lingers, that remains, that abides. There are hands here to help you, okay? There's energy here offering. They're saying 2 heads are better than 1, all right? Maybe getting on the same page, and again, it's reiterating the navel, the belly button. So this is probably your child that we're talking about here. Definitely having to do with the hip. Yeah, this child that you bore. Brainstorming together. Thinking together. Applying your minds together towards this creatively, okay? I can tell it's difficult on you and that your heart is heavy because the sides of my mouth have been pinched and downturned since we got over here. This was quite a shock, seeing as where we're coming from, right? You had that uplifting energy and that great, beautiful connection. You feel like just to be let down again, okay? But there is help, and there's that connection, and not just the community. It's that communication between the two of y'all of looking at how to get rid of that vine, okay? Not the person, the vine. So basket, recognition and reward for merit. There's bounty to be had. There's harvest to be had. It's like this has been the attention getter for so long. It clouds your mind and clutters your mind. That you're missing some of the beauty that's right in front of you. So when I see this, I see focus on the good. You know, get together and have a short brainstorming session about how to attack the vine, and not attack like, but to make that plan, right, of how to begin to break it down and to do away with it and to eradicate it. But at the same time, crowning the entire thing is really your central focus, your main focus is to feed what is good, focus on what is good, what is living, what brings harmony, what brings life to you. I mean, it's got everything in there from flowers to herbs to bread to fruit to vegetable to mysterious looking things. Stuff that like creates a spark of wonder, okay, wonderment as well. And a whole basket full of creativity. And that basket is that weaving, the holding all things together, kind of like that artistry in that bigger picture. Deep breath, Taurus. You got it. Now use it. All right? Use this charismatic, luscious energy to begin to free your mind. And the rest, as they say, will follow. Okay. Love you. Till next time.